We are back at it with another episode of Nick versus Everyone. And today with me, I have my sister, Sydney, Mrs. Sydney.
That's right.
On the
Oh,
podcast
man.
today. I'm so excited. This is kind of like a follow up to Kevin's episode, your fiance, Kevin. He was talking a little reckless.
He really was. He really did not hold back, but I'm ready now. It's
he was
my
talking.
turn.
There's a little slander going on, a lot of crazy talk on his part, and you were just like, Mama gotta get on this and set the record straight.
Oh yeah, for sure. He knows. He's prepared for this.
Oh yeah. So how's it going? How's North Carolina? How's life?
Things are great. I've been travel nursing and I've been in Winston-Salem for the last 6 months now.
Mhm.
And it's been good. It's just a lot of back and forth, but it's honestly been so much better than working in El Paso on that first assignment. That was a lot.
Yeah.
But
So
no,
what
North Carolina's
assignment
good.
is this for you? The second
This
one or third?
is third contract total.
Mhm.
So, it's third contract. I'm still going. I've loved traveling. It's been a lot of fun. It's hard being away from home for sure.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit of the travel nursing life.
Oh gosh. So, I mean, dependent on being out of state. Out of state was really, really tough. You pack up everything. You get your assignment, and sometimes it's, oh, I'm leaving in 2 weeks
Mhm.
to travel, move halfway across the country, and you just have to round up all your things. And I took Willow with me to El Paso, and so that was good. At least I had her to hold and have something close,
Some type
similar to
of support
home.
system. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, because I mean, I was living in a duplex, and I was by myself. Like, I didn't have a roommate the full time,
Mhm.
so I was truly solo traveling, solo living in a whole different place. So that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I
And that
had
was
the
the
whole
first time you were by yourself, right? That was the very
yes.
first time you ever lived by yourself.
hmm
And you not only just moved, you moved to a whole different state, and also El Paso, Texas, which is a huge culture change from North Carolina.
Absolute. I mean, complete culture shock. Driving, across halfway across the country, you see all of the difference in, the states. And then I had never even been in Texas before at that point. So
Mhm.
literally seeing all of Texas to the very end of to El Paso, it was a lot. And I mean, down to like the vegetation. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm on Mars
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
It was nuts
Yeah.
for sure.
Totally different climate too. Like you get that
hmm
dry heat opposed to the humid heat. Uh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And
When you,
I mean, it was like 110 normally because I was there
Mhm.
during the summer, and
Yeah.
like the humidity was like 0. And so
Yeah.
I mean, I could walk outside and I was like, "Oh, this
It's
is
not
what no
bad.
humidity feels like.
It's
It's
not
not
bad.
terrible."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I remember going to North Carolina, and for some reason, I don't know why I have this memory, but there used to be this clock right by the front door. Uh, it was the house with the pool in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And on that clock, it had the temperature on there. And for some reason, it was like 113 is what I remember, 113. And
Mm-hmm.
it was so hot and so humid that it would thunderstorm almost every night just to like combat the humidity. It would just, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, okay? But the
No
humidity would
meteorologist.
go do something up here, and it would
Mm-hmm.
thunderstorm
And
really
then it
hard
went,
every
oh
night.
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. It's a custom thing. Like I love in the summer now. I thunderstorms are my jam. If I don't
Yeah.
have a thunderstorm, I'm sad. Honestly, it's how I sleep the
Mhm.
best.
You know what? I don't. We might have had only 1 or 2 thunderstorms in California since we've lived here for 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't rain that much,
Oh,
so
that's true.
that's that. So yeah, I want to say we only had like maybe 1 or 2 in 4 years. But yeah, that's a weird thing to think about. I didn't even notice, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, I live for that because I mean, even in like the spring, the pollen is terrible. I feel like it's terrible everywhere, but that's like the one thing that helps me get by are my thunderstorms. I'm like, all right, if it's thunderstorming, I'm happy. I'll be outside on the porch with a book, full on, yes.
What are you, the Wicked Witch of the West? What's going on? You're like,
It's like I feel the energy.
like destruction. Let's go.
It's where I find my calm in utter chaos.
uh, no, I like thunderstorms. The one of the coolest experience I've ever had was being on a plane, and a massive thunderstorm was going down below the plane, like underneath the plane. We were so high that we could see it for miles, and it was just like directly below us. And
That's
that was
crazy.
that was pretty sweet. Actually, I don't even know where I was going, but I was just like, "This is sick." Have you ever
That's
have you ever
insane.
ever seen that?
No,
No,
never.
yeah,
That would be so cool though.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty
Oh,
sweet.
yes. Are you one of the types of people that likes to look out the window? Are you a window seat person? Are you aisle seat on the flight?
Uh, I'm a window seat person to sleep, so I have something to rest my head on. I'm usually like
Smart man.
yeah, I'm an air sleeper for sure.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
some of the best sleep ever. You put your earphones on. That's like what I was doing, when I came to see you guys in Santa Barbara and, flying back and forth when I surprised Kevin,
hmm
flying with Willow. That was a whole thing. But it was my last flight back to El Paso after coming home. And I mean, it was a big plane, but I think there were only like 20 people on board. So they were literally like, everybody, you guys can have a whole aisle to
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh, sick.
It's our last flight. Do whatever you want, essentially. So I had Willow out with me, and I was just like cuddled up in a ball, and like my like legs were like stretched out, and I was just snoozing that last
So you
that
were
last flight.
identified as the crazy lady on the plane, right?
I had my travel blanket because I bought a travel blanket. I had a travel pillow. It was great.
Did you bring Tupperware full of food too?
Of course. Of course. Of course. I had my snacks.
uh,
I just, open it up. What do you
yeah, yeah. Feeding the dog. If I was by you, I'd be like,
want?
I'd be so mad.
You're like,
I'd be
this
like,
crazy ass lady.
if this dog goes crazy on me right now, I will punt it. I will. That's the crazy thing about California. Like, for some reason,
Mhm.
people do not have their dogs on leashes,
Really? Oh,
and
wow.
so they're just like walking around and stuff. And I'm just like, if this thing comes at me, you cannot be mad at me for what I will
Valid.
do to it. You know what I mean?
Valid. Absolutely. You can't trust those dogs. You don't always know.
People bring them to restaurants for like dinner, like it's dinner time, and they bring them to the restaurants, and like they bring. It's so freaking weird. You know, the things that dogs sleep in, like those little. They're like it's like a pillow, but it's like kind of
Yeah.
like, and they bring
Yeah, like
those
a
with
gift
the dog
carrier.
so it can sleep underneath the table in the dog carrier thing. And I just want to go over there and just like punt it
Like,
pretty
why?
far.
Like, I get it. Like, I love bringing Willow with me places, but
Yeah.
sometimes you need a break. For
Yeah,
sure.
not to dinner where there's other food around
Yeah,
and
no.
dogs like food, right? And
Hmm.
it might just another thing is I feel like dog people think that everybody likes dogs. so that if your dog comes up to you to another person, it's just like, oh, hey, man, people love dogs. They want to pet it,
Yeah,
and like sometimes
everybody
I'm
loves
just
a
like,
dog.
don't freaking, you know what I
Don't make
mean?
eye contact.
Yeah, like this is not cool. I don't want your dog on
Yeah.
me or around
Yeah,
me.
no.
It looks like a
Yeah.
rat. You know what I mean?
That's fair though. Yeah, because I mean, I'm through and through a dog person. Obviously, you
Hmm.
know our animal situation that we grew up with,
Yeah,
but no, like there's a time and a place for everything for sure.
yeah, yeah. So tell me a little bit about where was it? El Paso.
Yes, El Paso.
So tell me what'd you like, what you didn't like, what you learned.
Okay, so what I liked,
Hmm.
the culture, so warm, welcoming, Hispanic culture, they just bring you in and you're part of the family and they look after you, which is
Hmm.
it felt good, being female, being solo traveling by myself. And so that was really nice. What I didn't like, the bugs.
What bugs?
Text. Okay, so there was this. I came home from, I think it was like my fourth night stretch. So, I mean, I was dead tired. And
Yeah.
I come in and, I'm taking care of Willow. And then I see this thing on the ground. And I mean, this thing is like this big, right? And I'm
Uh huh.
like, I'm by myself.
Uh
I
huh.
have to, like, I'm like channeling, I need to face this.
Okay.
And I look at it and it's a hybrid scorpion slash spider
Oh.
this freaking big. And I'm like, and Willow's trying to play with it, okay?
Uh
It's that
huh.
big. And I'm like, oh dear Lord Jesus. So I muster up the courage and I stomp on that thing and and I looked it up and it's a camel spider because
A
I did like
camel
a
spider.
and these things apparently get like the size of your hand
Ooh.
big and they can
Ooh.
like run super fast. And I was
Hmm.
like, I can do anything I set my mind to. 'Cause
You're
I
like
killed that
pacing.
thing.
You're pacing around before, like you can do it.
Yes, literally. Just hyping
You're looking
myself up.
yourself in the mirror. You're just like, you
Yes.
can. Oh, you can do this.
You can do this. No, like truly, I was so hype afterwards killing that. And after like Google searching what the fuck that was. I was
Yeah.
like, no, no, that was absolutely horrific. And then,
Uh,
they had these huge flying like cockroaches, just your Texas things. Everything's bigger in Texas. Um,
oh, that's so
so
funny.
that was a
No.
big no for me.
Good thing me and
Uh,
Rachel never visited because Rachel does not play with bugs.
I didn't used to. I
Yeah.
had to.
Uh huh.
So I will gladly save her from that because that was
That's so
terrible.
funny. Yeah.
I was sending pictures of it to Kevin and I
Hmm.
was like, "What is this thing?" He was very proud. He was like, "Wow, you really did that. You
Wow.
killed that thing."
Uh,
Yes.
nice.
So that's definitely a big thing that was a no-no for me.
Hmm.
Um Other than like the vegetation, I'm a North Carolina girl, so I love the green and I never thought I would miss trees
Yeah.
as much as I did. I remember just talking to my coworkers and I was explaining North Carolina and I'm like, I miss trees. And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I miss my trees at
Yeah.
home.
No, for sure.
um, Yeah, and so, but I lived right at the base of the Franklin Mountains, which is really cool though. It was beautiful views.
Hmm.
I went and found this place called Overlook Mountain,
Hmm.
and you literally are Trans Mountain Road, and you would literally drive up into the Franklin Mountains, and you could park, and there was like places you could sit, and it was just like
Mm,
just beautiful. And I took Kevin. When he came back to drive us back
yeah.
um, to North Carolina. So that was a really cool spot that I would just go on
Sick.
my off days and just go read and, do my thing. And it was that was beautiful.
I like that. I like
Um,
that a lot. When I
yeah,
would
yeah.
travel for work and stuff, there was many times where I went on like little hikes or whatever
Hmm.
to. I think one time I was actually in Amarillo, Texas. I think,
Okay.
and there was like a state park, and I just chilled up on a rock, looking over like the Grand Canyon, looking type thing for a while.
Oh,
I'll always remember that. Actually, my first album, my first album that I made,
yeah. Oh,
the
your
cover
album
art,
cover?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually that. I took that picture
Oh,
and edited it and added color and all that stuff, but I'm actually exactly where I'm talking about. I was sitting in
wow.
Amarillo, Texas, on a thing all by myself, just chilling, looking out
Perspective.
at
Yep.
everything. Yeah, yeah, and that's a good think spot. So yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
the name went little bit deep there,
Yeah.
but also there, I was walking through to that place, and they have like the longhorns, like the big cow
Mhm.
looking things, but they're
Mhm.
huge, like 1,000 pounds probably or more. I don't know. They're huge and they're
Massive.
muscular. They're not like just chub. They're like they're
Yeah.
swole.
Yeah.
And I'm walking there, and there's this rinky dink little ass fence. It's just like it's like to protect a garden. You know what I mean? Not people, a garden. And I'm 15. I'm walking and walking. I turn right eye to eye with this thing 15 feet away. The only thing between me and this animal with huge horns is a garden fence.
Someone didn't think that through. Jeez
Yeah, and I'm just
Louise.
like, I've never seen one before, nor up
In person
close.
too. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, and I like for real. I was just like, I like froze for a second, and I was just like, all right. And
You're
I just
like
like slowly like went away and then like sprinted and then got back to the car. It was cool, but
You're like, yeah, no more of that. Yeah, no, they're literally staring at death in the face.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
am
you're like
when people are just like, let's go camping. I'm just like bears, you know?
mountain lions. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Cloth is protecting me in this tent. Just these little cloth. No thanks.
Rather not. Yeah, no. I'm good,
Yeah.
honestly.
So, what did you learn about this very first? I mean, it was your first assignment as a travel nurse, right?
Hmm.
So, what did you learn out of from that first experience, whether it's professionally or personally?
Lots of I mean, professionally, I think it made me realize how like my solidity as a nurse and my skill level as a nurse, that was great. I learned a lot about, the Hispanic culture, more of the Mexican culture. That was very interesting. But like in terms of the biggest thing I learned was that independence, truly. And I can honestly do anything that I set my mind to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have never, I mean, you know me growing up, I
Mm-hmm.
was so shy and hooked to my mom, definitely very dependent in that aspect. And so it
Mm-hmm.
really allowed me to spread my wings and,
Mm-hmm.
grow
Because you
that
didn't go away
confidence in
for college.
myself.
You didn't go away
No,
for college. You
no,
stayed at
I stayed
home
home.
all your college, and then you started working, and you were,
Still in the
a
same
few
hometown.
saying the staying hometown, still close, and all that stuff,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you never really you didn't live by yourself at any point.
No,
So when I knew
no.
you're going out, I was like, great, and you're like Texas or uh, where was it? El
El
Paso.
Paso. Hmm.
I was just like, all right, you're gonna learn a lot.
You're like, you got this. And I'm like, what am
uh,
I getting myself
yeah, yeah,
into?
no idea what you're getting in. I
No.
kind of knew just from my experience in Texas.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Honestly, though, all of my times I've been in Texas, I've enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Um, I can't really say I hadn't had a negative experience, but I would think it'd be interesting being so close to the border too. You know.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Being able, like, every single day driving down I-10, I mean, you see Juarez to your left,
Hmm.
and then you have El Paso right here. I mean, you see the legit border, you see the big fencing, you see, every day I would either, if you went on this exit, there was so many flashing lights. It was like, this is the last exit in the US. And you're leaving the US. Like you're going,
Uh,
like there was that part, and I was always terrified that I would, because I I'm terrible when it comes to driving and paying attention,
did you ever
which
make
is
a
bad.
mistake and like go and then have to cry in front of the be like,
I
can I
did.
turn around, please?
I did. I did. Not at the border though, thank God. It was
uh,
at whichever military base is there. I was trying to just get some raisin canes, okay? I just wanted my chicken
were
and
they
my
just like?
I was on the phone with Kevin and I was literally like, I was driving and I was talking, so I wasn't really thinking, and I was following what the I think it was Waze or something. I was following
Yeah.
whatever that was telling me to go, and I
Uh-huh.
chose Raising Canes, and I'm like pulling off, and I'm like, why does this kind of look like secluded in my head? And I'm just talking to Kevin. I'm just like, oh crap, oh crap, and he hears me. He's like, you didn't do it, did you? Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me. And then I drive
Mhm.
up. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was just trying to get some chicken. And they just start laughing at me.
Oh no.
Yeah, and they're just like, they're like, they had to like check my like ID. Thank God I had it on me, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, you're just gonna have to follow this officer back. And I was like, I am so sorry.
Long story short, you're in the army now.
Yeah, essentially. They're like, oh, well, you have no choice. You came here. You're enlisted.
Yeah, we're shipping you off right now. You're actually gonna go fight in Mexico right now, so
This is what you get.
buckle up.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a lot, but just another one of those things that you kind of have to roll with and
Hmm.
overcome. But yeah, definitely independence. I had, of course, stereotypical. I had a flat tire, and I had to get all of that fixed and figure out that whole process on my own. And I was like,
How'd you fix it?
oh,
Like, did you YouTube
so
it?
I okay, so initially, so okay, this is what happened. So I was driving to work and it kept saying like low pressure, and I was like, please just go away, in that aspect. So I get to
Because
work
that's
and
how
I get
life
out of my
works.
car.
Yep.
Yeah, you just ignore it until it disappears. And so then I get to work and I get out
How
of my
far
car and
away
I'm
did
like,
this light come on from work?
when I left the house.
Like how long? Like how many
That's like a
minutes?
12 minute drive.
So potentially
15-minute drive.
you're driving on a flat for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. So thank God I didn't damage anything more than I did. And it was really like, it was okay by the time I got there. I guess like driving helped keep it inflated. I don't know. I don't know how things work.
So it's science.
It's
Yeah,
science.
for sure.
So I get to work and I park and I'm like, the tire doesn't look flat. And then I like pause and I listen and you hear a,
Because you're not
and I'm
driving
like,
anymore, and it's not with the driving. The air goes into the tire, right?
yeah, yeah. So,
So now it's
and I
finally
was
coming
like,
out at this point. Yeah.
and so
Hmm.
I'm like, shit, this is happening. Of course, this is happening. And so then I, go into work and I'm like, okay, I know I have the stuff in my car for this to fix it. But then I was like talking to other coworkers and I'm like, just get AAA. And I was like, okay, maybe I can get like a maintenance guy to come help me because we're also like in the parking garage. I was at an incline. So I
Hmm.
was like, I'm terrified that I'm gonna put this jack on and I'm gonna
Yeah.
freaking roll my car over. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I like end up trying to get a maintenance guy to come out and help me. I ended up being able to call AAA. I had to like sign up for AAA that night.
You couldn't just
Did
like
all the things.
find a dude in the hospital and
I
be like,
I tried. There was no one. Literally nobody. Because I think it was
uh-huh.
like a Sunday too. So
Okay.
and it was a small hospital. So I was like, nobody can help
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Might as well go ahead and get AAA anyways, at this point. So I got AAA. Thank God the guy came out. He helped me and he put on my spare, but I think I had work the next night, but I was
Uh-huh.
like, okay, I only have like a Costco so far away from me. I was like, I can't put so many miles on this thing.
Uh-huh.
I ended up dropping off my car at Costco
Why
and
did you
sitting
why were you just like I have to go to Costco?
because it was cheap.
Uh,
Money. The Filipino way. It was the most affordable.
oh.
Okay.
All right.
A good deal. And it has warranty. Warranty
Because
on
no
it.
other place has more. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah. So I went to Costco
Hmm.
and I
And they sold you like the
waited.
most expensive warranty they could find too, because it's you. You know what I mean?
And I'm like, sure, whatever.
If the world
So
ends, like you'll still have a tire at this point.
I'm like, that sounds like a good plan because that's
Mhm.
better than what I'm
You know
going
what?
through
You
right
know what,
now in the
sir? The
situation.
world could end. You're so I gotta be prepared.
I need to have my tire on
uh,
this one tire too.
uh,
So yeah, so then I ended up waiting in Costco and I found one of these because I mean obviously I had nobody to take me home. They don't have Uber there. I wasn't gonna do
oh,
anything with that. So I literally had to sit in Costco and wait.
the snack
Mind you,
aisle. Yep.
yeah, so what I did, I found
Samples.
yeah, samples. I lived off of the samples. I went and got some food and I found there are these viral rocking chairs, like campfire chairs that
uh,
Kevin and I had wanted to get.
uh,
And so they literally you can sit and it's kind of like you rock in them. I found them, right?
yeah.
And I went and I parked my ass there for 2.5, 3 hours. And I was sitting and just rocking, and people were coming up to me. They're like, that looks really comfortable. I might buy. I literally,
you're
I
like you're
sold.
just giving
I,
up the.
yep. I'm like, they're like, can I try that out? I'm like, sure, why not? And I think I sold for them 10 chairs. So
Wow.
where's my check? Where's my check?
So you were the crazy person on the plane, and then you were a crazy person at Costco, and all the
Yes.
workers were just like, "Is this girl?"
Is she okay?
You have a book, you have their snacks, and you're just like reading.
I'm just reading, waiting. Yep, that was me. That was for sure me. But just another funny. I mean, looking back, it was terrible. I was so tired, and of course, I had to work the next night too.
uh-huh.
So it was. That was a time. I was very grumpy.
Hmm.
It was, but I learned a lot. Now it's funny to look back on, and I was like, I really did that. I really had to go through that. So
Oh, good. That's
yeah,
good.
it's a good thing.
If I was
Builds
Kevin,
character.
in the future, he'd be like, Kevin, can you help me? Like, take your ass to Costco, woman. You know the
You can wait in
drill.
Costco. You've done this before. What's so different now?
What do you need me for?
Right?
Do you want me to be the crazy person now in Costco?
Right?
No. I want you
You
to.
strong. You strong,
They already
independent
know
woman.
you. They already know you as a crazy person. They don't need to know me as a crazy person.
It's like you're already on marketing. What you mean?
uh, nice.
No,
I'm
but
glad
now
that you went through
I
that.
have I have a couple of those chairs now. So here.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings back my memories of
Uh,
the first time I sat in one.
yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome. Awesome.
Mhm.
So, um, just nursing as a whole, like travel
Yeah.
nursing or whatever. What are some? So you're three contracts deep. You got to
Mhm.
get pretty good sense. What are some pros and cons that you've learned so far, and what advice would you give to someone that is looking into something like that?
So, pros and cons. Of course, the pros right now is money. You are truly, I finally feel for the caliber of nursing that I can provide and for my experience as a nurse. I'm finally getting compensated for
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
which is sad because it's not a forever thing. It's just, I mean, long term, I can't do this, but
Mhm.
that's definitely a plus. Pros also is you really are refining your skills as a nurse, and so you kind of feel like a badass going in and being like, hey, no, like I can handle this. I can have 1 or 2 days of orientation and be able to kind of throw yourself into craziness depending on your contract.
Mhm.
Cons, it really depends on the contract and place that you're at because a lot of the times these are going to be the hospitals that they need people. So, I
Uh-huh.
mean, you're getting paid that much for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going into sometimes just dumpster fires is what we like to call it.
Yep.
And it can be crazy,
And
but you just have to hold on.
you're not going to like UCLA hospital. You're not going into like
No. No. Yeah,
like
no,
the highest, the best like hospitals
no.
either, right? You're not going
Yeah,
to the best places or whatever it may be for the most part, right?
absolutely. So I mean, a lot of the times, you have to be kind of quick on your feet and, not every hospital is the same. So I mean, they're going to be different even down to like technology, monitors are going to be different,
Mm.
your supplies are going to be different, and I mean, the way they do things is going to be completely different. So you just kind of got to throw yourself into it and be open to rolling with the punches. A
Mhm.
100%. Um, so that's definitely a con, and so that would be another tip of it, like an advice for anybody who wants to travel, especially like in the NICU world is going to be a lot different too compared to adult world.
Yeah.
Um, and so if you're a NICU nurse and you have a couple years experience under your belt, make sure you have, you're going to go to a NICU that's more of like a level comparable to what you're used to. So whether it's a level 3 or level 4, level 4 is like the highest end of,
Mhm.
acuity. Is what I'm used to. Um, but yeah, and always ask questions. If you don't feel safe, speak
Mhm.
up.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever stop asking questions, even if you feel like it's dumb. There's no dumb
Mhm.
questions in healthcare. That's a
You
big, big
mentioned
thing.
Yeah, you mentioned that the culture, you really like the culture in your first assignment, but like throughout your other assignments, how has like the culture been like? Have people embraced you? Have people been like, oh, this is the outsider? Like, how has that been?
So you hear a lot more in the adult world people not being the kindest to travelers, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that there's always going to be that stigma, and it's this between the staff nurses, they know how much travelers are making doing the same job as them. And so that's always kind of difficult, and you'll run into that. Fortunately, in the NICU, people have seemed to be more open and um, appreciative that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, at first, like I feel like any new place, you're the newbie. People don't know you. You kind of have to build that rapport, and they have to build that confidence in you, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of see what you can do. But as soon as they realized, I can hold my own,
Mm-hmm.
they were much more warm, welcoming. Um, the culture difference being from El Paso to North Carolina, coming to where I'm at currently, it reminds me a lot of my home hospital and just the very southern,
Mm-hmm.
sweet, but might, talk crap behind your back kind of
Oh.
type thing.
Uh-huh.
Just, that just, they sugarcoat everything. That's
Yeah.
very, very prevalent, unfortunately, with
Uh-huh.
the place I'm at currently. But, I'm used to it at this point
Yeah.
just because of where I started. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Greenville, North Carolina, it can
Yeah.
it can be like that. But It's overall it's been good. I mean, it's all in how you treat people too.
Yeah.
If you're an asshole, they're not gonna like you and they're gonna treat
Yeah.
you like crap, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Mhm.
And I mean, my I feel like all the women in my family are in the medical field, if not nurses. Same thing with, you pretty much. And you just hear a lot of
Mhm.
times about cultures in hospitals aren't always that great. Leadership is not usually that great. Um,
Mhm.
Middle management is basically a dead area, and
Mhm.
there's people up top that don't understand the lives of the medical people, and medical people uh, get paid not enough uh, compared to what they do. And so it can get really really tough. And if you're lucky enough to find a good place with a good culture, I feel like it's more of uh, the rarity, the exception, opposed to not. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. If you find a hospital that, like you said, they appreciate their staff, they build the staff morale, there's proper benefits, they push and, support you, that is you hold on. You hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
Because it's the Wild West, honestly. It really has become that.
hmm Yeah, and I feel like that's a pros of being a travel person, because if you're in a bad
Oh,
situation, you're only there for like what, 13 weeks, right? Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And so
Yeah,
like
I mean
I can
that's
get
depending
through
on
it.
contract. You're like,
Yeah.
I can do anything for 13
13
weeks.
weeks
Even
like
even as low as like 4 weeks. Some people only do 4-week contracts
what's
too.
the point at that? Like that's
Right?
wild. Like
Yeah, they're
just by the
like
time you get your feet wet, you're at peace,
you're
you
like
know?
peace out. Yeah. So I mean, it's cool that they have that offered, if somebody's like, "Okay, I just want to work this month and then take a month off."
Mhm.
Work this month, take a month off. They can do that. It's incredible, um but yeah, it's so fun. Like, and I'm sure you've seen it too in the culture of the hospitals too. Like, how is that like for you? Like seeing the culture of a hospital, and then coming more to like the normal people 9 to 5 world.
Mhm.
Like, is there a lot of differences?
Yeah. Um there's differences for sure.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was lucky enough when I worked in a hospital, the
Mhm.
people that I worked around I liked. And it
Okay.
was more like but we were like, it was a physical therapy office. The physical
Okay.
therapists were all, cool. It was more like a family type thing, and they treated the
Mhm.
people below them very well, me.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
so everybody liked each other. It's kind of like a family type deal. I think there was a little bit of stuff going on behind the scenes, but for the most part, everybody liked each other.
That's good.
But I think that with any business anywhere, I think there's a huge disconnect in medicine, because the people that are running it aren't doctors. They're not anything. They're business people. They look at numbers. And um, so when that comes into play, it really does trickle down to they don't really care that much about the people that they work with. Just think about COVID and all those other
Mhm.
things, like you heard about. Oh, you can't. You're the medical professional, but we're going to tell you how you should be protecting yourself, and if you want to give yourself more protection, oh, you're going to scare the patient, so you can't do that. And it's just
Mhm.
like what world are we in right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's
that
sad.
was, yeah, it's super sad to hear things like that. And it just shows that they don't care about the people they work for, or work for them.
Mhm.
They're paying them crap, right? Compared to the amount of money they generate,
Oh yeah.
they pay them like crap. Even people think doctors make money, not compared to what they generate, not even
Not
close.
compared to the administration. Absolutely not.
When I was in the PT office, part of my job was to help people learn how to walk again, right?
Mhm.
And some people were like pretty good, Like we would just have to be right next to them, and it was fine. Some people had a harder time, and they had assistance or whatever it may be. But it would be like a crazy amount, like hundreds of dollars for someone to take 5 steps. You know what I mean? Like 5
Yeah.
steps, like 1, 2, 3, even no matter if they're like really good at it or really not, like it was crazy amount of money just for 5 steps, right? And you just think and I would see how much they would be charging,
Hmm.
and you're like, it's crazy. And then you're gonna turn around and pay a starting PT person like 60K a year. Like
Yep.
what?
You're like, how does
That's
this
why
make sense?
that's
I
why I
mean, it's
decided
yeah.
not to be a physical therapist, because the math didn't
That's
make
fair.
sense to me. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I want to help people, but also I don't want to be taken advantage of as well. Which is, I mean, and in the nursing world, it's high pace, it's high stress, um,
Hmm.
burnout. Especially when you get older.
Major burnout.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just always being in that, and honestly not getting the reward. So when this travel nursing stuff comes up and people are actually getting paid for the things that they're doing, like
Hmm.
you can pay this person this, but you can't pay me that I've been here and loyal for the longest time. It doesn't make sense to me.
It
So
doesn't make sense.
so I think the medical field is a little bit different, but with any company that I've ever been with, there are people in manager positions, there are people in leadership positions that should not be there. And they get these positions because they're good at their job, but they are not leaders. They don't know how to motivate people. They don't know how to work with people. They don't know how to create a good culture. All that stuff, they have no idea how to do that. And it's just because they've been there for a long time, or they're good at this one specific job. So they think that they're going to be like the manager and stuff. So I don't think that when people choose who is going to be managers or leaders, those people don't understand what it takes to be a leader and identify leaders within their companies. I think I've always identified those type of things. So when you talk about any corporation, there's always the people that make decisions or charge people that aren't leaders.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, like you said, you see that all the time, even with nursing. It's, I mean, people are strong nurses. Like I would consider myself a strong nurse, but they would say, "Oh, well, you're a strong nurse, so that means you would be good as charge, or you'd be good
Yeah.
as assistant nurse manager or management." And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "That no, like I know my limitations,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't feel like I would do well in that
Mm-hmm.
type of role." But you see that, and
Yeah.
they kind of get nurses out, especially very early in their
Mm-hmm.
careers,
Being
and
a really good
it's sad.
nurse has nothing to do with being a manager, or
No,
whatever your
it does
job
not.
is has nothing to do with being a manager at all. Nothing.
Absolutely.
And yeah, they get those positions. You can So how you rate a manager is culture, right?
Hmm.
And how much they lift up the people underneath them.
Hmm.
That's pretty much it. Can you get the most out of your people? Is there great culture? If you think about sports, there's a lot of sports teams, and I know you're not a sports person, but um, there's always these times where they have these really good players on team, really good rosters,
Hmm.
but they don't
Hmm.
win the championship. Why? Because the culture is not where it needs to be, and they're not as close as they need to be. And it takes a true leader to to bring those people together and make it all work and
Absolutely.
work with all the different personalities. And it's not my way or the
Yes.
highway. And that's
Yes.
people who don't lead, or who don't know how to lead, are it's my way or their highway 100% of the time. Like it's one
Yes.
personality. For you have to be able to move, mold, and press the right buttons, and push
Hmm.
sometimes, pull back sometimes. And some people, when they get in these leadership positions, it just becomes one way. I There's no maneuvering and there's no flexibility.
Absolutely.
So
And that's just going to create a riff, and that just creates that unstable
yeah.
culture, like you said.
Hmm.
Absolutely. It's sad, and it does a disservice to the employees, because then they end up in situations with
Yeah.
nursing shortages, and I
Hmm.
mean it's a cycle, it's cyclic for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, and people will take less money to be in a good situation.
Oh
If they
yeah.
love the people that they work for, they love the culture that's around them, you know, they're not going to want to leave. Even
Absolutely.
even for like 10 grand more somewhere else. Like
Hmm.
I like where I'm at. I'm good. Like all these people are great. Blah 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 blah. And so if you are someone, and your department's like people quitting, and they'll be like, oh, it's just because they left because there's more money. Like, I feel like that's not necessarily true at all. People
You
will
know,
take less money to be in a better situation, and they're probably thinking this sucks. And this place,
absolutely.
I'm gonna get a new, like, maybe this place is better and I'm gonna get paid more. Like, sweet. But if they truly were happy with the people they were around and all that stuff, they wouldn't leave.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
A hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah.
But it's just all on like how people treat you, and if you're gonna be appreciated, and it's sad that that's not more the culture.
Hmm. It's about
Especially,
communication too. Like, I feel like
yeah.
people are bad at communicating. Like, it's okay for a manager to be like, it's okay for them to be like, hey, Sydney, I'm trying really hard. You had a complaint. I'm trying really hard. I went up to them. I'm getting pushback from them. Like, I'm working here. It's not here
Mhm.
yet, but I'm working for you. Like, that's all people
Mhm.
want to hear, and follow up on that, right? A week later,
Yes.
hey, Sid, I'm still working on a thing. I know it's important to you. I'm still that those type of things need to happen, but it
Mhm.
doesn't happen. It's almost just like, oh, this person complained, right? And you hear
Yeah.
nothing, silence. And it's
Yep.
like, this person doesn't have my back. This person doesn't care about me, blah, 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 blah. There needs to
Yeah.
be more communication, transparency, and a leader should know those things.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it's sad when they don't. It sucks. Truly, it sucks. And I mean, I've been in situations like that, and so I mean, that's where you just don't have the loyalty that,
Yeah.
because who's gonna stay and be treated
Hmm.
like crap?
Right.
No, nobody.
Yeah. Exactly. And you dread going to work, and you're freaking exhausted at the end of the day because you're through all that tension for 8 hours, 12 hours straight, and it's just not good. And then people leave
No.
and get burnt out real quick, and it's done deal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Child, burnout is a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I
Mhm.
have switching gears here because
Okay.
we're at the 48-minute mark,
Oh, we're
and I wanted
already?
to. I know.
Dang. Okay.
So when Kevin was on here
Oh,
a little bit ago,
ready.
he took me through the story of the first time you guys met, right? And and what was kind of going on. He said that he was your waiter. You were with your mom, and you was like mommy likey, right? And he's like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, I want a slice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, we don't have dessert here, ma'am. And you were like, I want a slice
Want a slice
of
of
that
that cake?
cake.
That cake. Look, that cake was looking roll
and he
juicy,
and he
roll
told
thick.
me your line to get his attention was, you look like Steph Curry.
you
Sydney.
know,
Sydney,
Nick.
I'm your honesty meter here. He doesn't. Okay? He
Okay,
doesn't
okay,
at all.
okay, okay. I'm telling you, young Kevin, baby Kevin, okay, he looked very similar to Steph Curry. And I had this obsession with Steph Curry back in the day. Like,
Mm.
I was truly enamored by this man. So I saw somebody that looked kind of like I could see it, right? I just automatically was like, okay, bullseye. Radar locked. Locked in. Mine.
And so,
So
yeah, you were locked in, but your game sucked, you know?
it sucked. Okay. I we didn't grow up. I didn't grow up with you in my years of developing game.
uh,
So it was very lacking. But you know what? Whatever I did worked. Because I got a rock. I got him. So that's all that matters.
so,
No.
but how many attempts did this? Maybe he just
It's
got like, maybe he was just like, all right, fine. Like,
yeah, I mean, honestly, no, it's funny because, by the time that we linked up again, I was like, hey, you remember I was the one who called you Steph Curry? He was
you
like,
brought it up again.
oh
You brought it up again.
yeah. Hey, but he remembered me because nobody else had ever told him that. So I was memorable
So
in
you
some
were the
way.
crazy person on the train or on the plane.
Yes,
You were the
on the
crazy
plane.
person at Costco, and you were the crazy person in the restaurant. Continue.
I might just be slightly crazy. It's okay. I embrace it at this point. And I mean, because obviously I'm doing something right. It's gotten me what I wanted. Um, no, so yeah, no, but to follow up him just putting me on blast completely.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to know what this man did on our second date?
I do. Oh
Okay,
shit.
so
This is
okay,
when I
let's
talk
just
to Rachel misses you, right? And
miss
when
Rachel.
she starts to get into like gossip talk, I'm just like, okay.
This is
I'm like, Rachel, who am I? And I go like,
time for the tea.
yeah. So hit me with it.
Okay, so second date, first date, he talked about it. We went to dinner, talked until the restaurant closed,
He had to
yada yada.
address it immediately, right? He
Okay,
had to address it that
yeah,
immediately.
yes, 100%. Okay, so then second date. Okay, we go to the Greenville Mall.
For people that don't know Greenville, okay, a lot of tobacco fields, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
A lot of dust.
Trash.
Not the nicest
Just
place. Not the worst, but not the nicest.
not the nicest, and
Right.
especially Greenville Mall. I'm pretty sure it's almost closed down now at this point.
Probably gunshots.
But
We're not
oh,
sure. Probably, but yeah.
absolutely, 100%.
I went there
So
like how many summers, and I don't think I've ever stepped foot in that mall. So
it's
not good.
not worth it. Not worth anybody's time.
So who took who
Honestly,
there
I think we met.
at the mall? Oh,
We met at the mall,
oh, okay.
and we were just gonna. I don't know who thought of the idea, but
Uh-huh.
we were just gonna go and window shop, just walk around, talk, get to know each other, type thing
Mm-hmm.
at the Greenville Mall. And so we're walking around, and we get to JCPenney, and
Yeah.
this man's like, "Oh, I've been wanting to try some. Let me try these jeans on real quick." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm just going with it." Before this, we were like going to like the appliance section and like looking at the refrigerators. Okay, so then we get to the clothes section, and we're just goofing off, and he's like, "Okay, let me try these on." So I'm like, "Okay," and then
He
next thing
looked
you know,
just
I
like
hear,
that too. He did this.
yeah, he's like, "Let me try these on." So next thing you know, I hear from the changing room, "Hey, Sydney, come here," and I'm like, "Okay." So I
Pause.
come in.
Pause. Where are we going with this, Sydney?
Just wait.
Where are we going with this?
Just wait.
I might have to jump
So
on a flight. Where are we going with this?
So I walk into the changing room. This man, he ain't got no shirt on, right? And this is when Kevin was like, he was very, very, very into, like, he was in the middle of cutting, bodybuilding type thing. So the man was like cut, right?
You go,
But
hold on.
and
Hey man, I thought you were just trying on pants. Why'd the shirt have to come on?
this man, he comes out, he's like, "How do these look?" And I mean, in my young 20 something year old, young 20s self, I was like, "Them jeans look great."
People go to jail for things like that.
And mind you, this is second date too. So I'm just like, and so Kevin can't say shit about his game, about my game. Okay, we're just both dorks, but hey, it landed. It
Oh,
worked.
you're like, oh, he knew Mama wanted a slice.
I still have I think the Snapchat that I took after, because when
Uh-huh.
he went to go change, I remember
His
I took
pants,
a
but
Snapchat.
somehow his shirt came off. Yep.
His shirt came off.
Yeah.
I remember taking a Snapchat, and it was literally like Latin music playing in my head as he walked out shirtless, and I'm like, hey, it worked.
Yeah.
Obviously, it
And,
worked.
and Steph Curry's black, you know.
Okay, Kevin. Okay, Steph Curry's he's a light skin. Kevin at the time, very similar skin tone,
Okay.
very very curly hair, the green eyes. It landed for me, and I
Mm,
love Steph Curry,
mm.
so it works.
Oh my gosh.
But then he's like, he's Puerto Rican, so it's like
Yeah.
just pure Latin. He was just like, how do these jeans look?
S- so let's fast forward to me being the officiant for your wedding, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Let's
me,
fast
I'm
forward.
taking notes of my speech that I'm gonna say in front of his parents. So, uh,
Yes. Please do it. Do it.
uh,
Uh-huh.
we're joined here today
Oh.
to because mommy wanted a piece of cake. And Kevin thought it was a good idea to show abs on the the second date. And a J.C.
Absolutely.
Penney's changing room.
In Greenville, North Carolina.
Nice to meet you.
Yep. And now they're married.
Oh man.
Yes. So that is the story of us. And now, fast forward over 5 years later.
If I'm if I ever go back to Greenville at any time, I'm going to the mall. I'm going to the J.C. Penney. I'm
You're
going
gonna
to
see
see
the
where the
dressing
pants
room.
section is, and I'm gonna take my shirt off, and I'm gonna take a picture of myself.
Rachel.
How do these pants look?
Iconic.
Oh,
Truly iconic.
I'm 1,000% putting this as a clip, so everybody sees it.
You please, I beg you. It would be a miss. It would you'd be missing out
Uh,
if you didn't. Too
so,
good.
so what was? So, did he buy the pants or no?
No,
Yeah, it was just to
no.
show, just to take off his shirt.
He said, "I'm just trying these pants on." Shirt off.
How did you not be like, where'd your shirt go? You know what I mean?
I was just so enamored by his
You were just like,
physique. Honestly, I was like, I walked in. I was truly like, yeah, they look good. And I just like walked. I turned around and I left. I was like, I don't know how to handle this situation. like,
yeah,
like gazing.
yeah. I'm gonna go over here now.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll wait out here.
So,
Yes.
so when you guys were walking back, you just the elephant was in the room, but you were just like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah. We just, honestly, we just kind of carried on because, it was, we have that such a connection that it was just kind of like, okay, well, that was that.
Do you want to go try on hats now?
What's next?
I see your shirt's on. Do you need to go try something else?
Like, come on,
Socks? The sock sale.
Socks? Scarves? What you want? I'm down.
So he's like, Sydney, did you want to go try on some pants?
Oh my gosh. He's like, what's our next stop? Your turn.
Oh, Kevin. Oh, you're lucky I didn't live in Greenville.
Oh
Someone
man.
would have got these.
Got him. I know. Especially probably some of my ex-boyfriends from high school. You would have
Oh,
done them
keepers.
dirty.
You mean all the keepers?
Oh, you would have just dragged them for their accents.
Uh,
That would have been it.
I just if I could go back in time, the first time I met, I don't know which one or the more or the more southern one, not the Filipino one.
Okay.
I would have
Yeah.
walked into the house first time with a banjo. And
Ding ding ding
Bang,
ding 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 ding.
ding.
Honestly.
You want to go
Yeah.
race some trucks?
Yee yee yee. Honestly. And then I was like teaching you like the lingo that they would use with their trucks and when
Piping,
they would
when they
pipe in
pipe
the
each
house, they
when they
would pipe
pipe
the
each
house.
other. Sick,
Yep. Sick.
sick.
Yeah, dog.
Got
I'm gonna
him.
pipe.
I
You just
piped
hear
him.
a boom outside the house, and you're like, "Oh, that was." I could name whose truck it was. Oh, they just piped the house, and you're like, I remember the first time that I told you and Nate that you guys were like, "What? They piped what?"
So, for clarity, it's when someone has a truck, right,
Yes.
that they
Yes.
like,
Hmm.
and potentially diesel truck,
Doesn't matter.
whatever, doesn't matter. Okay.
No.
And they go by a house and just punch the gas right real quick, just
Yes.
vroom real
Yes.
quick,
Yeah. That's
and
piping the house.
so they could hear the truck go
Yes.
by,
It's like a
and
hello.
yeah, or it could be like if you're driving by someone on the road and
Hmm.
your smoke goes into their face, it's just like, I got you, right? I'm a tough guy, right?
Roll call. That's what
It,
you would do. You would roll down the windows, and if
uh-huh.
a diesel would drive by, you go roll call, and then they would boom, and they would smoke you. They're yeah,
And your
roll call.
ex-boyfriend would be like, head out the window.
Yeah. Yes. Hold on.
Whee!
Yeah.
Whee!
What a rush. Yeah, for sure.
One time I did this marketing event at a NASCAR
Okay.
race,
Fun.
and the company that I work for had a actual NASCAR car on display that we would turn on every 2 hours and just rev the engine. Like that was to get people to come over and like just listen to the car,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like,
Sure.
really?
Wow. You hear that
And so many people would come and hear and just like,
one?
let her loose, let her loose. And I'm sitting there just like,
Where am I?
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm hearing.
You're just so annoyed. Yeah, yeah. And they would do the craziest shit to make their trucks louder. Honestly, I mean, these like 16-year-old boys, they would like cut off their catalytic converter. I could be saying that wrong, and they would
Mm.
straight pipe it, and so it just like you could hear that thing miles away. Ridiculous.
That's
Absolutely ridiculous.
that's probably one of the top 10 most annoying things in my opinion. And it's not
Yeah.
just a truck; it's any a bike, a Harley, a fast car, a loud car, whatever it may be, is when they hit. We live close to like an intersection,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
for some reason, people just love to go just for half a second, just floor it, and then that's it. And it's just like, dude, anybody. I
Mm-hmm.
hate people that just go for 5 feet.
Obnoxious.
And it's just obnoxious at that point, just loud, just inconveniently loud for no reason at all. I
Oh
get
yeah.
it boils my skin so much. It's so annoying.
Imagine sitting in one of those while they're because their tires are huge too, right?
Yeah.
So that's so much noise.
Hmm.
And then being in the vehicle, there's no sleeping.
There's no fun. Yeah.
You can't hear. You literally have to yell to be able to hear what people are saying beside you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, I would not
Oh.
recommend.
So that's why the JCPenney pants trick worked. Ah.
That's what you understand now. The game that I
Forever know
was
the JCPenney pants
Mhm.
trick.
JC Penney's pants. It goes down in a true legendary move on my part. So,
I'm embarrassed for both of you.
hey,
Hey, I'm embarrassed for both of you. It is what it is.
so bad. At least we're happy in our weirdness and
It
our
worked out. It
it
worked out.
works.
Two crazy people
Truly.
made it work out of Greenville, and I'm excited to get into the wedding season, wedding mode
Oh,
at the end of May. I sent you that we booked our flights out that way.
I'm
Uh,
so excited.
yeah, I'm excited to celebrate with you guys, spend time with you guys, meet your friends,
Oh yeah.
and things like that. Um, hopefully, hopefully everything goes smooth and all that good stuff. I'm just super excited for you and to get all this stuff going and support you every step of the way. So
Oh, we're so pumped,
yeah.
honestly, and just like the whole planning process, and that's like what the biggest thing is. Just we're so excited to have all of our people
Hmm.
in the same place. Like it's blowing our minds, like to think about how
Yeah,
much fun it's gonna be,
it's gonna be crazy.
and just seeing all of the little nuances of each friend group, then
Hmm.
mixing it with family. It's gonna be so much fun.
It is a weird experience. It is a weird
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
because you're like, I'm not used to having, these people together, but now in this like one occasion, you guys are coming together for us, and it's just like
Hmm.
we just feel so lucky in the moment, and it's cool.
It was one of the best days. Uh, truly one of the best days
Mhm.
um, that I've ever had. Uh, obviously, for all the reasons that you're just talking about and all that good stuff, and I can't wait for you to have your day and to be a part of it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be sick.
I couldn't imagine having a better officiant too. I'm so hype. Honestly, it's gonna be great. You
Uh,
like you truly have to bring like the humor into it. It's just gonna be
yeah,
lighthearted, fun.
yeah,
Please, you have to, because that's
yeah. And then
us.
Navy SEALs are gonna take me out.
Honestly, like getting like to know their family too. They've just come accustomed to my craziness.
Yeah.
So you know what? Give it to them. Do it. I don't
All
care.
right, here's a tequila shot for you. Here's a tequila shot. We're gonna do it us three right here to start.
Absolutely.
You got the rings? Hurry up.
Bottles up. Let's get this over with so we can party and
Yeah,
dance.
yeah. All right,
Honestly.
Sid. Hour 8 in.
Okay.
Thanks for joining. I had a lot of fun. Uh,
Yes.
I'm proud of you. I'm excited for your future. I'm excited to spend more time together, and I can't wait to for the wedding season to start. It's gonna be
Me
sweet.
too. Thank you for having me. It was so much fun. I
Oh
enjoyed
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Hmm.
And maybe one of these times we'll do a three-way podcast with you, me, and Rachel, and I'll go up
Yes.
against both of you. I'll say,
Yes. Absolutely.
uh,
Me and Rachel just be back and forth.
yeah.
What do I even do?
All right, Sid.
Absolutely.
I'll talk
All
to you.
right.
See ya. Peace.